It's got to be news. Now, you've worked out who your target audience is and what media you're going to use to reach them. You need to look at what stories you're going to give them, i.e., how to be newsworthy. Remember, very important, there is no point in you making the time and effort into putting a story out to the media if what you're saying isn't newsworthy. Each time you consider pitching a story to a journalist, be ruthless. If your story is not news and it's not interesting, don't do it. The likelihood of being published is limited, so you'll waste their time and annoy the journalist. And you'll be wasting your own time too, of course, and making him or her less likely to consider your story next time. That doesn't mean it has to be earth-shattering national news. It just means it has to be something people who read, watch or listen to this particular area of the media will be interested in. It's vital to put yourself into the mind of the journalist, who in turn is thinking and writing about what his or her readers, listeners and viewers want. If you can get into this mindset, you'll be much closer to being able to give them a story they can use, and you'll therefore be achieving your goal of getting free editorial. Ding dong. So, the important rule is always to say to yourself, is this something that I would want to read in this media if I was not working for my company? Is it topical? Does it give me any information? If it does, then carry on. If not, forget it. And if your story is interesting, always focus on the most newsworthy angle. Remember, that may not necessarily be the aspect of the story you would like to prioritise, but it's a crucial compromise if you want to get coverage. And don't be a time waster. Without an interesting angle, you'll waste your time producing a press release and you'll annoy the journalist by sending them a story that isn't useful. Take this example. I often work with property developers and estate agents. They'll say, we've got a fantastic house, it's so pretty with roses round the door, so English, would be perfect in the property section of the Sunday Times. Can you get it in for us, Lucy? I answer, so what's the angle? Why would a journalist want to write about a house just because it's pretty? They'll be sent hundreds of pretty houses, and Sunday Times readers want something meatier to read than a collection of pretty houses. Instead, I work with them to locate the story. For example, if they can find 2 more houses with roses around the door, I can research facts and figures about roses, discover how difficult they are to grow, determine if they should be attached to houses, and conclude if it's a good or a bad thing. We can even explore securing an expert comment from someone like Alan Titchmarsh. Or we identify a major gardening event that's current and use that as the angle to attract the journalist. Then I present our rose-covered house and 2 others to create a trend. Can you see what we're doing? The key is to find interesting angles that are newsworthy and not just present the plain facts to a journalist. Very important. If you've got a real story and not just a poorly disguised advertising pitch, you've got much more chance of securing those valuable column inches.